Good day. My name is Laquan Roberts, and today is July 26, 2020. I am a student at Chattahoochee Technical College, where I am taking the course ECCE 2320, which is Program Administration and Facility Management. Today, I am here to talk about working with families in an early childhood program. I will be covering 4 key points underneath this topic, and the first key point involves the ages of stages of development from birth to age 12. Secondly, I will also be talking about the importance of family involvement in an early childhood program. Number 3, I will be giving you all some examples on how to involve your families in your programs. And last but not least, I will list some informal and formal ways on how to communicate with your families. So before I get started, I would like for you all to know that my sources do include the NAEYC Association. I use their article called Principal Effects of Parental Involvement. I also use my textbook, which is called Developing and Administering a Child Care and Education Program. And last but not least, I did use my other textbook that is called Child Development, the Early Stages to Age 12. So let's get started. With this first key point, the ages of stages of development, all of the information will be coming from the textbook called Child Development. So from birth to 12 months, that's the infancy stage. And the infancy stage is the foundation for the skills, the social skills, cognitive skills, the language skills, and the motor skills. After the infant stage, we have the toddler stage, and that can range from 12 months to 36 months. And this is where you see tremendous progress with the skills previously mentioned. And they're also starting to depend more and more on other adults, and they want to also be with more peers. After the toddler stage, you have your preschool stage. And the preschool stage can range from 3 to 6 years. And in this stage, they are most likely in preschool, where they are continuing to learn and grow in the skills that I mentioned before, and they're also becoming more self-sufficient. After the preschool stage, you have the school age, and that is from 7 to 12. This stage, they're a lot older, they're more independent, they have a sense of self and how others view them, and they're starting to master their reading, their writing, and their math skills. So moving on to my second key point, all of the information for this one will be coming from the NAEYC Association, from their article, and it's about the importance of family involvement. Family involvement in an early child care program is very important, and it is a major component of quality child care. Family involvement, if it's a two-way communication between the teachers and the families, everyone is going to succeed, because the teachers will be there to guide and support the parents who may or may not understand the stages of development and how their child is learning and growing. And as a result, with the teachers giving them their guidance and support, the parents can now give their guidance and support to their child at home when it comes to their learning. Also, from the article that I read, children thrive when there is family involvement. You can see progress with their academic performance, their behavior, their attendance, and also their overall happiness in their learning environment. They become ready for school. Also, when the relationship between teachers and parents are reciprocal, again, everyone benefits from the shared information and also the shared resources. And some of this information that's shared can also cover cultural or diversities. And it's important, of course, to accept diversities, which brings me to my third key point. The third key point were some examples on how to involve your family members. Your family members. Your families. They should be your family members. But your families from your center. So this information will be coming from my textbook, Developing and Administering a Child Care and Education Program. And if you have a dual language learner family, an example that I can give you is inviting them to probably do a cooking recipe with the class, and that will help share our cultural differences. If you have a family that is not able to come up to the center, what you can do, if they have the technology at home, you can offer them to do a Zoom meeting with the class where they're reading a story to the class. If not, teachers can do a home visit. Last but not least, the parents that just want to volunteer and they're able to come up there, you can have them come up, and if they would like, they can volunteer to help fix things in the school, or they can help plan certain events and help during those events. So it's also important, and this information is from my personal textbook, again, the Developing and Administering a Child Care and Education Program. It's important that with these things, you have to make sure you're running these ideas through your director to make sure that everything runs as smooth as possible and anything that needs to be done is taken care of. Because, for example, certain ideas of having parent involvement or family involvement, you may need a background screening. So if the director is not knowing what's going on, that step can be skipped, and you do not want that to happen. So this brings me to my last and final point, which are the ways to communicate with your families at the center, formally and informally. You can use a communication app. We use ClassDojo at my center. You can use a parent newsletter. Maybe you can even use email, telephone calls, formal meetings, formal parent conferences, and of course, handing out the parent handbook during enrollment. So in conclusion, we talked about the stages of development. We talked about the importance of family involvement. We talked about some examples on how to include your families at your program. And last but not least, I did give you all a list of how to communicate with those families informally and formally. Because in conclusion, again, working with families is a part of a quality child care program, and everyone benefits from family involvement, which is why I ended up saying family members, because at my center, we try to maintain very positive relationships with our students and their families to the point where it almost feels like we are all family members, because at the end of the day, it takes a village to raise a child, and that's what we are here for, to help these children learn in a happy environment, and we have to try as best as we can. Thank you for listening.